Business series. I am Ashley Brown. Some of you guys know me as Ashley Empowers. I am super excited about today's interviewee. As you guys get logged on, please say hello in the chat box, and I'm getting ready to bring in our guest, Danyel Surrency Jones. So give me just one moment. All right, one moment. Okay, and I see Danyel just joined, so we're going to add her to the chat. All right, so it looks like she is connecting. Hey, Danyel.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing?
I am wonderful. You look beautiful.
Ew.
Thank you. I decided to go a little sporty and represent my brand.
Well, you look awesome.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Everyone, welcome to this session of the Curls Black Women in Business series. Today, I have the honor and the privilege to interview Danyel Surrency Jones. If you guys are just getting to know Danyel, she is the CEO and co-founder of Powerhandz. It's an athletic product training company, and she is also the president of the Power to Give Foundation. So Danyel, welcome. I'm so happy that we are featuring you on this interview. Can you just tell us a little bit about you and how you got started with the concept of Powerhandz?
Absolutely. I'm so honored. Thank you to you, Ashley, to Curls, Mahisha, the whole team for including myself. And I'm bringing the Powerhandz team along with me and the Power to Give team. So very appreciative. I like to kind of start with titles aside. At the end of the day, I am simply a vision chaser. I really don't care when it comes to success, red carpets, money, all of those things. I simply want to chase the vision that God has given me. I have a responsibility. If he's laid an idea or a concept or a vision, I have a responsibility to fulfill that, or I'm going to disappoint him. So my title is I'm a vision chaser. I am the CEO and co-founder of Powerhandz. And I'll tell you from a concept standpoint, I have an amazing business partner, and he is Danyel Jones, and he is also my husband. And we have that wonderful dynamic of being a business partner and a husband and wife team. And I love that because it shows that it is possible. I heard someone say that in every marriage, there's a ministry. And for us, this is part of our ministry, Powerhandz and the Power to Give Foundation. So we started this company 3 years ago out of Dallas, Texas, and it has grown from one product, one vision as an athletics training products company to a sports tech vision to a rehabilitation vision, and kind of grown from there into multiple verticals. So I'll pause and.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you so much for providing that information. And, it's great. So today we're going to be talking about how to capitalize on a lowercase opportunity. And one of the great aspects of me being able to interview different women for this series is that I get to research them. So I've spent a lot of time researching you, seeing, things that you've done and things that you and your husband do in the community. And I really, truly see that you guys are visionaries and that you guys are working for a higher purpose other than producing athletic training equipment. So I definitely see that, and I think it's amazing. One of the things that I did want to ask you, though, is you mentioned being a vision chaser, but what truly drives you and Danyel when it comes to your business?
Yeah, so it's obviously the responsibility that we have. When someone says, and again, I feel that it's a vision from God, but when you get past the baton and someone says, you have the baton, you need to run with it, if you're a responsible person, if you feel that, in life you have an opportunity to do something great, there's a heavy sense of responsibility that lays on your heart as well as a burden to make sure that you fulfill that vision in the right way. Then when you bring other people along with you on your vision, and you inspire them to be a part of your company, you then have that responsibility to make sure that you're living your purpose with them and through them and helping them take care of their family and live out their dreams. Then when you have little kids, my Hartley Rose, who's 4 years old, and my Harper Jazz, who's 17 months old, we look at them and we have such a sense of responsibility where we want them to understand what hard work looks like. When you don't have all the answers, how you can figure it out, how we live in this world where there's no longer a sense of what you don't know, you don't know, you can actually find out. And we want to instill that in them so we have a sense of responsibility for our kids so that we're providing this legacy. Darnell and I both come from very humble backgrounds, and we see what hard work and making the right decisions for our family can establish not only for our kids, but our great grandkids and future generations to come. So that's what drives us, is that sense of responsibility that we've been given that baton and we better run with it, or we're going to disappoint a lot of people.
Absolutely. So you mentioned coming from humble beginnings and you being a vision chaser. Did you have a vision for where you are currently? Like, did you say, one day I want to be an entrepreneur, or did the vision come as your life has progressed?
Yes, definitely. So I've always been the overachiever. I mean, from, kindergarten on. So from that standpoint and understanding the milestones that I needed to hit and understanding that, I've always achieved more, yes. But having a vision of being an entrepreneur, no, not at all. I thought you go to undergrad school, you go to grad school, you get your business degree, and you get a corporate job. And you're there forever. What I didn't realize is that, and not saying that this track is for everyone, but that corporate opportunity that I had, those corporate opportunities that I had, allowed me to learn all these different skill sets and get cross-functional experience through different disciplines to take me to the entrepreneurial step. So I realized that in that journey, there is a crawling step, there's a walking step, and then I jumped. And we jumped into this entrepreneurial journey, but it was when the time was right. Yeah. Not saying that we knew all the answers, because we don't. We still don't today, three and a half, almost 4 years in. I mean, we're still infants as a business, but we love the learning and discovery phase. So no, I did not know. I knew that there was a vision for my life that I had to figure out what it was and the purpose, but discovering that along the way, and I'm still discovering that, because I don't believe that, God just simply gives you one task. Yeah. Once you completed that task, you then grow to the next task and you impact more lives, have more accomplishments, hit more milestones, etc. So I love being on this continuous journey of being a vision chaser.
Yes, so well said. So as we're on this theme of capitalizing on a lowercase opportunity, in your entrepreneurship journey, what are some key opportunities that came your way that you had to put the caps on?
Oh, wow. So, and I'll name a few from corporate America, because again, I feel that, this entrepreneurial word is such an awesome, sexy word. I never want people to understand that your journey has to be leave your job and become an entrepreneur, because I spent 15 plus years in corporate America learning all the things that I could. And so I will certainly say my first lowercase opportunity came from corporate America. Two very pivotal points in my career. One was even accepting a job. I took a job as a sales rep in Miami, where I had no clue about medical sales. I had no clue what I was selling. I had no clue about the industry. I was green. But I knew, because that opportunity was rare. And I was in a part of the industry, radiology sales, that was very rare for someone like me to get involved in, and the access that I had to mentors who didn't look like myself, who were willing to invest in my career. That was an opportunity that I had to step back and say, you know what, I'm raising my hand for this. I'm going to do the best that I absolutely can, learn the most, and I'm going to also make an impression so that people that can invest in me and my success in my career, they're going to want to pull me up, and they're going to want me to join their team, which they did. One of the women that I attribute my success pulling me out of the field is a woman by the name of Kathy Failing. And if she did not take that opportunity, as she was chief marketing officer at that time, to bring me onto her team, I would have never understood what success and so I was very, very pleased that I was humble enough to take an opportunity, and that I worked hard enough to get recognized for the next step. And then the next critical point for me, I worked for them for this particular company, which was sold to Philips Medical Systems, for about 8.5, 9 years. I got laid off. And what did I do? I started my own consulting company. I said, I've gained all of this experience, and I have different relationships that exist out there. Why in the world wouldn't I take my skill sets and apply it to my own company? Yeah. And I got an awesome package from them. But I wasn't going to sit around and just let that money and my savings just whisk away. I started my own company and immediately got an opportunity within 2 weeks. It was absolutely incredible. Moving to that, capitalizing on a lowercase, I then got approached by Medtronic, which is one of the largest medical device companies. And they said, we don't have anything for you, but we can make you the director of sales and the director of sales training and development within our organization. Sales training development. So I never had that position before. I got to figure this out. And, it wasn't as sexy as a title as my previous positions. Yeah. Medtronic was an amazing organization. I knew I could grow laterally. I knew there was upward movement. All I had to do, again, is take those opportunities and capitalize on that moment. And that's what I did. I capitalized on each moment that I had to make an impression with the people that I impacted, my team, etc. And that got me to this point. And then my last defining moment from capitalizing on a lowercase opportunity would be Powerhandz. So Darnell Jones, my co-founder, walks into our kitchen. And so I am on maternity leave from Medtronic. I am making more than most male counterparts make. I am confused as to what I should do from a next step perspective with my career, etc., just based on some dynamics that are happening within the company. We just got married. We just bought a house. We just had our first child. He walks into the kitchen and he says, I've got this idea and this concept based on, basketball and training. And I've been using gardening gloves with kids and these ankle weights that I used to use with my mom that I put around my wrist. And he's like, I can't find a comprehensive product that's out there. And he truly, and again, ministries, he had a great entrepreneurial spirit already embedded in him. I'm like, I'm making good money with corporate America. I'm good. Nonetheless. So we started talking about it from a scientific principle standpoint. I'm like, whoa. I get this. I understand how it applies not only to professionals, but to youth. And that birthed the vision of Powerhandz and creating a company that, tells athletes, don't just rely on your natural athletic ability. train your skills, use products, and thank goodness we have patented products that are amazing from a functional standpoint. Use those products to help improve your skills so that you're pushing yourself to the ultimate level. Yeah. So we then created Powerhandz, one product, one market, which was basketball, and one vision. And that has grown to multiple verticals or markets, multiple products and patents, and now getting into talking about capitalizing. Oh my gosh, it's so important not to be stagnant. And I always talk about this. The vision that you think that you have could get you to the real vision. So for us, athletic training products is the core of our business, but we're now going into sports tech. We're now going into esports. We're now going into rehabilitation, which is the foundation of who we are with healthcare. We have this amazing foundation. So again, it's so important to, no matter if you're given cheese and crackers or caviar, to always think big, to always believe in yourself and think big. And that's what we're doing.
And that's something, and I've met you before, but that's something that I really see in you, is that ability to think big. I just see that, and you seem like a person and a woman who doesn't play small. It doesn't seem like you have a limiting belief. It seems like you really, like you said, you're a vision chaser and you're going for it. And I love the concept of Powerhandz. Like I said, I've been researching you guys. And I saw an interview that you guys did when your company first launched. You were on a news broadcast in Dallas, and the concept of Powerhandz is to make training more difficult. So when you're in the actual game, it's easier. And when I think about that, I said, wow, that concept applies so much to entrepreneurship, because if you are, it's like that, the principle of like winning privately. So when God can put you on that platform publicly. And so when Darnell walked in the kitchen and he said, okay, I have this idea. Was he a former basketball player?
He was, yes.
Okay.
And he's been using this MacGyver-like concept since he was 10 years old.
Wow. Okay. And so from the time that he walked into the kitchen and gave you the idea, how much time between the idea to the company opening did it take for you guys to get this up and running?
Such a great question, because Ashley, execution is so important. Yeah. How many ideas have been birthed in our thoughts that we don't execute on?
Exactly.
And what Darnell and I did, as soon as this idea was birthed in that kitchen and we spoke it out loud and we regurgitated our thoughts into how this could transform into a business model, we went to work. We called patent attorneys and immediately got this registered. And we just got patent approval this year. It took 3.5 years for us to get patent approval for this. But that is so important from an intellectual property standpoint and the value of your company. We immediately we sat down and put a pro forma together and a budget and said, okay, from a sales and marketing perspective, this is how much we will need. From a communications perspective, website, all the different disciplines in creating a business, this is what we will need. And at this time, we knew we had this amount of money to invest in the company. So then we had to make a decision, where do we go to get our start, our seed money to start the company? And there are so many resources out there. This is an area that typically discourages a lot of entrepreneurs because we don't know where to go.
Exactly.
We don't know where to start. And so for Darnell and I, we immediately went into an execution phase of friends and family. So who are the friends and family members that we can go to who will, at this point, I mean, Ashley, just being, completely transparent, this is air. We've got an awesome vision, but we don't have a product. We don't, have a company. So we're selling air. So what you're selling at that point is yourself.
Wow.
You're selling your capabilities of being able to take this idea from a conceptual standpoint into something that benefits lives and that people believe in. So we got a round table of individuals together that were friends and family, and that's how we got our first investment.
Wow.
And We did that from, I would say, a 6-month standpoint of from going from prototype phase, which we sourced out maybe 10 different companies for our first product, to develop that product, making sure from a manufacturing and quality standpoint that they were going to be dependable, getting money, putting our team together, the legal and establishing the company, and all of our bylaws, etc., within a 6-month time frame. We were working day and night. And when we launched, we were fulfilling orders in our garage.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. It was with a 5-month-old. Yes.
Wow. I mean, this is incredible to me. And one thing that I want to ask you, because apparently, you have a lot of grit, tenacity, persistence, because sometimes people can hear these type of journeys of, oh, we have this idea, we launched it, now we're in, I think I read you guys are in 76 countries, is that correct? It was 76 something, 76 store.
81 plus countries. Thank you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was reading something that was probably from a
Thank you. Old. It's, yeah.
So 81 plus countries. And what I think is a key attribute to an entrepreneur is their ability to persist. And sometimes we see like this beautiful trajectory from what we see looking in. Like, I think I just saw you at All-Star Weekend and you go to all these events. But when it comes to hardships that come up, or when it comes to trials, how do you bounce back from those setbacks that you may experience?
Well, that's such a good question, because that is an ongoing reality for entrepreneurs, because you start at one phase and you get setbacks. You're told no so many times. Because again, when you are starting as a company, unless you have this amazing name and presence out in the marketplace, you're building that. You're building your ecosystem of people that believe in you. So you're going to get told no by banks. You'll get told no by, other entrepreneurs, angel network groups, no by retailers, no. That's a common word that you're going to hear. And you have to be so resilient as an entrepreneur to block that out. If you have done your due diligence and you have put a plan in place that shows that your company has credibility in the marketplace and it has a sustainable vision, then you have to be your biggest cheerleader along the way. You have to make sure that you drown out the noise where everyone is questioning if you can do it, and if this is a viable opportunity, and you have to push forward. And that's what we have absolutely done for the last 3 years. And remember, for us and for any entrepreneur, if you are growing with your vision, that will be an ongoing theme along the way. It will get easier in some aspects of it. It will get easier, but you will always run against roadblocks that will deter you and make you question if you are doing the right thing. But if your pen and your pencil and your piece of paper and your spreadsheets, I'm such an advocate for this, because I'm not saying Darnell and I had the perfect equation in the beginning, and we definitely don't have the perfect equation now, but we're so much wiser and smarter based on the mistakes and losses and people. Oh my gosh, Ashley, the people that you connect yourself with, the circle, our connection from a brain trust has grown from this size of a neuron to this size. And we still have this huge universe to go, because we're tapping into people that have been in businesses, that have had liquidity events and sold their businesses, that are in a technology space, that are, have been business people that understand the challenges that you go through. So your circle can no longer be your friends that are just your friends that are your biggest cheerleader. There has to be people that have been there and done that as to what you're trying to do. You have to expand and be such an extrovert. And it's hard, because you kind of, most people, I love people, trust me. I love people. That is a gift. I love people. I love connecting people. But man, do I love sitting on my couch, being in the comfort of my home with people that I can just be Danyel with. But in business, as you're connecting the dots, it is so important for you to step outside of your fears and your comfort zone to meet people that are going to help you and teach you and pull you along the way.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's really, really great. I'm sure that it's going to benefited me and, people that are watching. And I know that you are a wife, a mother, business owner, foundation owner, and you're a mom of two absolutely adorable children. So my question to you, I know a question you probably get frequently is, how do you balance it all? But the question I want to ask you is not so much of how you balance it all, but how do you balance your desire to constantly researching and focusing on scaling your business, as well as still giving your family and your family and your kids and your husband that attention they need? Because I see as an entrepreneur, there's always something that you can be learning. There's always an event you can go to, networking. There's always something, and sometimes people observe people's journeys and they're saying, man, they just look like they're doing it all. But how do you balance that time of saying, no, I need to spend this time with my children? How do you decide?
Again, I just love your interview questions. You're so amazing. Such a good question, because typically people say, can you talk to people about, how you balance all of this? And my motto is, my balance is my imbalance. And this is a topic that always makes me teary-eyed because, as an entrepreneur, there is a sacrifice. There's a sacrifice that is a blessing to be a part of the sacrifice, but there's some area that's going to suffer. And one particular quarter, it may be your family that suffers. Another particular quarter, it may be your creativeness around the business that suffers. Another particular quarter, it may be your networking that suffers. So what I had to do was block out the need to try and balance all of that and say, you know what, Danyel's gonna, from a practical standpoint, do the very best that I can in order to take care of my family so that they feel the love. We're experiencing moments together. I'm taking care of their needs and I'm getting the awesome help that I need. For instance, we were in All-Star, and of course it looked like we were having a blast, which we did. Don't get me wrong. But we had tons of meetings, and obviously our kids weren't with us. My mother-in-law had to come in from Utah to take care of our kids. My mother comes from Florida to take care of our kids. We have an awesome nanny that helps us with that. So I have to be mentally okay that these wonderful people that God has put in our life are depositing goodness into our kids, into our home, and there are angels to help us in this journey. From a business standpoint, when I have to pull back from the networking, I have to be okay that it's okay to say no, that there is absolutely power in the no. And that's hard for me sometimes because not only for me is it the business, but I also want to support my friends and help them in any way that I can. I want to be on the front row and be their biggest cheerleader. So that balance of the push and pull, that's hard. But this year I've made a commitment to myself. If I can't do it, I can't do it, and I'm going to say no, and I'm going to be intentional also with making sure that I pull back and get the proper rest that I need in order to keep that creative juice and the leadership skills and all of those things residing within me. So that's, again, it's my balance is my imbalance that has helped me survive as an entrepreneur, a mother, and all those other things the last really my entire career. But I finally got it as an entrepreneur because I had to.
Yeah, no, I love that. And it sounds like you do definitely have a tribe of supportive people that help you as you're building and growing this vision God gave you. So I love that. Now, what is a piece of advice that you can give to viewers on how to turn their reality into something extraordinary. Because like we touched on, I can just tell you have the ability to dream big and not settle for anything mediocre. So what advice can you give to viewers on turning the reality into something extraordinary?
So, for me, it's really simple. You have to listen to all of the unconscious things that typically come into your thoughts, and you put them in the parking lot. So I believe that God whispers all of the great things that he wants you to do in your current state and in your future state. So when you block out the noise, you're able to hear all of the things that God wants you to do. Say you are working in a sales position right now. Well, he's going to be whispering opportunities to you, and you're going to see those opportunities, and you can see those opportunities manifest if you take advantage of those. So you should always have your eyes and ears open, no matter what position you're in, no matter what company you should work for. Always listen more than you talk, and push yourself to get to the next level, and be your biggest cheerleader along the way, because it's not going to be easy. So that is like a core principle for me, is really taking advantage of those moments and pushing yourself. The other thing is there's this book that I got called Self-Made, and I thought this was so interesting. It says, bootstrap your way to success. If you want to appropriate the attitude and values of immigrants, the bootstrap mentality, and use the bootstrap mentality and put it to use in your own quest to become self-made. I promise you that one generation can rewrite the economic stories of our families and create abundance. Here are some approaches that immigrants take. You live in the best place and in the world for women and for business. Be grateful. Be willing to start at the bottom and work your way up. Give your sense of entitlement away. It's not serving you. You and your family are in this together. Work as a team. And you know our family consists of whoever we bring into our family. Start early and leave late in everything that you do. Be humble, ready, willing, and able to work and make money. Every road has a business lesson to teach you. Entrepreneurship takes passion and stamina. Remember, you are training to be an entrepreneur all the time and to be a business. Start with your own community. Look for people like you who understand your vision and sell to them first. Get out of survival mode. Prepare for life's curveballs by working towards the goal of securing a future today. I love this.
I walk off the stage. That was awesome.
I love it, because as I think we get, so bottled up in the extra stuff. And if we filter the extra and focus on exactly what it is our calling is and purpose is at that moment, if the extra stuff is meant for you, it's going to come anyway. So clear your mind of all of that other stuff and really think from a minimalistic standpoint as to what you need to do to get the job done. That doesn't mean you don't think big along the way, but you minimalize all of the other stuff that prevents you from getting to that big.
Yes, no, that was absolutely. I'm going to have to get that book. It's called Self-Made.
Yes.
Okay. That was awesome.
Self-Made. Yeah, I love it.
Yes. And you guys, as we wrap up the interview with Danyel, if you have any questions for her, please go ahead and start writing them in the chat box. But Danyel, so I love that. I love what you just mentioned, something about creating that generational future for your family. And you mentioned that you and your husband both grew up in humble beginnings, and I can see that clearly a part of your vision and your mission is to set your children up and the future generations after you up for success. Have you, and I'm always interested in people's mindset. have you always had this mindset? It just seems like you have the gift of implementation, that you are a go-getter. Like you said, you've been an overachiever. Was that something that was instilled in you? Or did you just, growing up in humble beginnings, did you see someone who lived this life and you aspired to be a certain way? Or how did you develop this mindset you have?
So Darnell and I have an ongoing debate, which is it's pretty interesting. We talk about, drive, and drive is such an important core value and characteristic of any individual. And one half may think that you have to be born with drive, and there are others that think that you can develop it. Mm-hmm. So Darnell kind of thinks that, you either have it or you don't. He's just hard-nosed like that. You either have it or you don't. And he does. And for me, I feel like you either have it or you don't. But along the way, like if you're lost and you don't, you can develop it. So I always had it. I mean, from the very beginning. And it had to be attributed to what my mother exposed me to and what I saw. So I am the youngest of three. My sister's 12 years older than I. So by the time I started understanding how to be a woman and live life, she was already in college. I had seen her excel through, high school. I've seen her be this great woman and the choices that, she made in boyfriends and those things. And my mother, who was an educator for 30 years, we all went to school with her from kindergarten to 6th grade. So it was so important for us, hello, Ms. Surrency is in the building. You better make sure you have your act together. So from a value standpoint, like you walk the halls, you're Ms. Surrency's daughter, you cannot cut up. So I had that added pressure on me in the very beginning, but it was easy to rise to the occasion because I saw those women in church. My mother had us in church for everything, from Girl Scouts to youth ministry. I saw all these amazing people, from my pastor to his son to my Girl Scout troop leader, who I go home, we get the kids baptized in that same church, got the kids baptized in that same church. You see these same people are awesome supporters of me today. So it was a nation of my mother and sister and brother and siblings, that family unit, but also the awesome family unit that my mother exposed me to as a result of who she was.
Yes. And can you still see me? For some reason, my camera.
I can.
Oh, you can? Okay. I guess I can. No, but thank you so much for sharing that. And definitely, I am very much inspired. Sorry about that. But I'm very much in the journey, and just seeing the comments come through, people have been incredibly blessed by the interview as well. So it looks.
I don't know why I'm emotional this morning, so stop. Y'all. Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, it's such a blessing to speak to you. And as we wrap up, because I don't see any questions that have came through, I did want to just say something that I heard you say this morning on an interview at Kawan Burton Studios. Something you said was very powerful. You were saying how it was something to the extent that you're living the life God has called you to. You're not trying to be the type of mother people want you to be. You're not trying to be the type of owner. You're just pretty much walking in your own lane. And I think that is an incredible attribute, and it really sets you apart from other people, because you can tell that you walk with that confidence of who God has called you to, who He's created you to be, and the vision He's given you. So I just wanted to share that with people that are viewing. But it was a phenomenal interview.
That's so sweet. Thank you. And I see the same for you. And so very proud of the awesome things that you are doing, and your beautiful family as well. So we are all in this together, and I am cheering for you along the way as well, Ashley.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
How can people get more information about Powerhandz or athletes, I know you guys serve all levels of athletes. How can they get their hands on some Powerhandz?
You can go to, which is where I wore my hat today, powerhandz.com, and that's Powerhandz with a Z. Our products are also available on Dix.com, Walmart.com, Amazon.com, but Powerhandz with a Z is the best place to get them. You can follow us on Instagram as well. And again, we're so appreciative of every single person who has an interest in our products and who uses them. And we love organic tags and videos. So if any of your those that are listening, kids out there, if you do get our products and you use them, please tag us, because know that we're watching and we're appreciative, and we will probably repost.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Danyel, for being a part of this series. You guys, every single person that watched this was blessed by Danyel's interview, and that you got some type of nugget or bit of wisdom, which I'm sure you did, that you can apply to your life. So Curls will be we have one more interview this month in honor of Black History Month. So that'll be next week, Tuesday at 12 p.m. with Dee Dee in the morning. So you guys make sure you're tuned in for that. But thank you so much again, Danyel. I appreciate you, and I'm so grateful that I had this opportunity to chat with you.
Ditto.
Okay.
Love you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.